But he did have 2 tanks and 4 marines, and that can hold off a lot of speedlings. So I ran back. I still don't know that he's not expanding. I guess in the future I'll take this overlord and just make sure. I was just assuming that he was. It's easy to assume that he's doing everything at once, but with a push that size, he can't have expanded already and have that saturated. What else is on my list? Creep spread. This is a decent minimum amount of creep spread. You want to be able to, especially for banelings, if you've got marines here and tanks here, and your banelings without layer tech speed, you need the creep to run down those marines so they don't just stim and run away and have the tanks take out the banelings. So, for no good reason at all, I'm taking a third. It turns out that it's a really good plan because he's saturating his second, so it makes sense to take a third, but I had no reason to know that, and that would have been solved by just sending this overlord in. I can see a low SCV count, and you can assume that he's going to be saturating that, so taking a third is a really good idea in that case. Speed it up a little bit here. Oh, my overlord positioning. I have overlords positioned in order to spot for drops in case I see a medevac or 2 fly by. I can respond in time and surround the ground with speedlings if I have to before my mutas come out to actually take out the dropship. I usually go mutas once I do see drop play, just because those medevacs are so powerful, and I'm just not a fan of that Destiny style all infestor speedling, because you need a lot of infestors, and it takes, I don't even know how many fungal growths to take out a medevac, but it's like 5, I think, 5 or 6, and that's just too much. I'd rather get, even if I get this Spire and all I get is 5 Mutalisks to take out, strictly to take out medevacs, that would be more cost effective to me than to waste all those fungals on defending against drops. So here we have another push out, and I can see this again because of the Xel'Naga towers. I have a little bit of a mismanagement with my speedlings. You don't want to do that. But most importantly, I see this attack coming. So this time I have mutas on their way, especially because I see so many tanks. And there aren't that many marines. I mean, it's quite a bit of marines, but it's not a mainly marine push, it's a tank push. I put 3 spines up here to push back his tanks for a while. These usually get destroyed. It's not the end of the world if they get destroyed. It's mostly to hold off the attack until you can get an army, because I didn't have more than 2 speedlings. I had 2 speedlings and I had a couple mutas just pop. Here they come. Like 6 mutas. You need time for your larva to pop so that you actually have an army, because if you just ran in with these 2 banelings, the tanks would of course take them out, and then the marines would move in. These spines are just to hold off for a while. It's not going to even do that much damage because of these medevacs. So here come my mutas, and immediately you want to have focus on your mutas. Get them on a control group, start picking off tanks, this is very important, and then run away when the marines come. Poke back in, kill a single tank even helps so much, and then fly away when the marines come. Poke in, kill a tank, kill it, and fly away when the marines come. I actually lost 1 mutalisk for 1 tank, which isn't bad. And he's just shelling these defenses. This is working because if he sieged up here, these spines would just do too much damage to the siege tanks, and I could even move the queens in and shoot at them. So for right now, you're distracting him with your spines, and you're distracting him with your mutalisks, while the marines chase the mutalisks and you're picking off the siege tanks. This was a big mistake. I'm actually going to back up. These banelings, I grouped them up, And I forgot that the siege tanks weren't shooting at anything. So, grouped up banelings with no speedlings to have the tanks shoot at them. Watch this. Watch how bad this goes. My grouped up banelings. Because I see, oh, the Marines are in a group, and they're close. I'm going to move in with my banelings, which have speed, but mind you. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. None of them landed. None of them landed. The Marines didn't even have to stim. So that was a big mistake. Too many banelings. Way too many banelings. You need like 6 banelings, and the rest need to be speedlings, because the speedlings run ahead, take the tank shells, while the banelings come up from behind and melt the Marines. When that happens, as Terran, you have to select your tanks and right-click on the banelings, not the speedlings, because the tanks will attack the whatever they see first, which is the speedlings, because they run ahead so fast. Another side note, get armor first, because it takes 2 shells to kill a +1 armor Zergling, as opposed to 1, because they do 35 damage. They can one-shot a direct hit with a Zergling. But with that 1 extra armor, it takes 2 shots, so they're even better at tanking tanks. That's the whole point of this cast, is how to tank tanks. So I make even more banelings, which is another bad move, because I don't have much to take shots from the tanks while the banelings move in. And I think I actually do it again like a fool. Just run in with all these banelings. I'm trying to fly around and pick them off, but there's just... my mute account is dwindling, and look at this. That's so bad. Please never do that, guys. That's so bad. I cannot stress that enough. Either spread them out, and or... with all of these, make 4 banelings and run in. And you'll take out all the Marines. You don't have to... and see, I'm floating 3,400 minerals. That's outrageous. Now that he's finally shipping his Marines up, I pull my drones and take him down here. And now I'm getting the idea. I made 6 banelings, and I split. I attacked down here with my speedlings. I attacked the tanks with my speedlings, and the banelings directly went for the Marines. And you have to send in the speedlings first so that the tanks start attacking the speedlings. This is how it should have happened. I made 6 banelings, and 2 of them weren't even used. That speaks fathoms for how I needed to do it differently before, not to just wheel in a big ball of banelings this big and have them all get hit by a single tank shell and explode. You can see how much more effective that was. And now I'm remaking some mutas, since his marine count is significantly lower. Trying to, again, pick off the medevacs and try not to lose any mutas to marines, while I'm massing more Zerglings down here and moving in as a group. Oh, no, no, no. Yep. You need to attack the tanks with the groups of speedlings, while you're dealing with the Marines with a different unit. Okay, so even though I lost these 4 mutas to the Marines, I have plenty of speedlings to take care of these. And now it's finally over, and I still didn't lose my hatchery, even though I have a second one, and I'm still ahead on harvesters. Since I can see that he's still reinforcing because I still have the Zelnaga towers, I know that he can't possibly have a 3rd base or a 4th base. I also know that because I have overlords here and here. But I also know about his saturation without even having to scout it, because he's committed so much to that attack that he's down by 23 harvesters and an entire base. And that just, it goes to show you it's never as dismal as it seems when you're defending an attack like this. You can't get into that mindset of, oh, he's probably got 5 bases by now. He can't. You know how much resources his army was? Hold on here. Yeah, he's lost a lot. I've lost a lot too, but I've been on 3 bases for a while. And Zerg always have more resources lost because that's how their units are. So I won't bore you with the rest of the game. Basically, oh, here's another important part. Now that all the pressure's done, I'm trying to be